always want the freaking Skype music to play as the video starts because boom, 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 but it don't do it.
I wish it would do that too, because that would be like you can just hear that song and you can totally see. Boom, 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 and that's like the name of your show coming up on the screen.
Well, hello.
How do you say show?
Oh yes. I'm too lazy to do an intro, and don't care about that bull mash.
Do it for me.
I just sit here drinking the Red's Wicked Black Cherry.
Oh yes.
It's pretty much just a soda drink, but I don't care.
This thing don't cherry coat with a little gasoline in it.
Tastes good.
Yeah, for real.
That's how you know what channel you're watching is when I'm sipping back on that and it's like, oh, that's Jared again.
Yeah, for real, man. It's like Jared always has something different to show y'all, and I'm boring. I have the same thing every time because I'm boring.
Oh man, that's a good.
I know. My God, that is my go-to. I love it so much.
I make my way to the Target every now and again, and they started carrying the Dream Tree wine selections that have been tempting me. Haven't done it yet, but my deal with getting into the wine is when you open up a bottle, it's kind of like, well, I might as well do all of it. And when I have something planned for the next day, it's probably not the best idea.
Yeah,
even if it is late afternoon.
Oh yes. Oh, I have definitely gone ass over tea kettle down the black hole of wine, man. Now, fortunately, I found that this is hardly a substitute for the decanting process. Yeah. Anymore, I buy the big bottles, and if you buy the big bottles, open that sucker, get you a glass, and then let it sit. Because by the next day, it's great. It's stupid because it's not decanting, but hey, it's close enough. But it's better than because I'm with you. It's like if I get just a normal standard bottle, so this won't be any good tomorrow. So I go way overboard, man.
I just stay away from those here. But it's kind of like it just goes so good with a dang good pizza or whatever. So it just kind of makes sense to get it.
Yeah,
once in a while.
Yeah, I'm very much a fan. I'm trying to do better, man. And also, I mean, it's stupid, but if recycling glass wasn't such a pain in the ass in this state, well, no, that's stupid. I was going to say I might consider. I'm sorry, I just ate, so I'm all burpy. Sorry, man. The 12 bottles is a case of standard 750s, And it's all good, but what are you going to do with them? There's as far as I know, there's one place anywhere around here to tote glass. It's called Charm. It is in downtown Atlanta, which is totally fine. I only go about once every 2 months or so it's not a big deal. My trunk is loaded down with glass as we speak, but that's okay. You just wait till you got a big enough haul and then take it out there. It's easy. I mean, it's nothing to it, but it's still... Carrollton used to do it
on the left turns, but it's fine.
Carrollton used to do it. They decided to stop doing it. Then there was a place in Douglasville that did it. Now, since COVID, they've decided to stop doing it. So it's and I apparently recycling glass is a huge pain in the ass, especially if your state doesn't want to put any money into it. And I hate that because it's one of the few things that is 100% usable. Plastic, it's a crapshoot. Some stuff can be recycled, some stuff can, some stuff gets contaminated. So it's just that's the issue, man. Excuse me. But glass, if you can take it somewhere, they can reuse all of it. So it's golly, I wish we could keep doing this. Anyhow, I got way sidetracked. But 6 of the bigs is easier than 12 of the littles, and not quite as much waste if it doesn't get to the charm.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man.
Everybody's trying to do their part.
Yeah, man. It's it's silly, but it's this weird little ritualistic thing that does make me feel better. It's at least I'm I'm doing something. That's just positive.
Yeah.
That's
what it's all about.
Yeah, it feels like a positive something to do. I'm sorry. I'm going to get off. There we go. I'm sorry. I'm done now. I'm going to get off my damn phone. I'm trying to make sure my alarm, when it goes off, it doesn't go off because I hate when y'all can hear it.
Siren going off.
Yeah, for real, man. Oh, God. It's like Jerry Seinfeld's joke about the car alarm. He's like, And why does a car alarm have to act like your most, irrational friend? It's like, oh God! It's like, that's what a car alarm sounds like. I'm like, dude, he's right.
Yeah. Why?
It's like most of the time it's just people brushing up against the car, man. You could have like a sophisticated car alarm that's like, pardon me, but oh no, oh God! Why do you do
I'm gonna
that?
call somebody.
Seriously. Oh man, what's up with you? How you doing, brother?
Not a whole lot. I haven't really done much towards putting. I've decided, in the interest of making the show more entertaining, I will not talk about the world whatsoever, and I'm just going to talk about YouTube shows that don't need my help in trying to make them more entertaining or getting viewers.
Man, any distraction from the news of the world, much more fun to talk about. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I was glad, and I'm sure anybody watching this already knows about it. And they're like, we know, but Ruby Riott's YouTube channel, it's called Hooligans Unite. I came across this week, and it was one of those kind of weird things where I kind of found it in the middle. Where I found the second show first, then went back and watched the first, and then the third, or something like that. And it's got a cool thing going where they're raising these donations. Last month was Pride Month, that's spilling over into this month, and she sat down and she made her rainbow cake for June, and it's just a fun view to go check that out. And I just don't claim to be much of a baker myself, but it's just when she gets to the substitute for sour, not substitute, it's just the substitute for buttermilk. I was just like doing my fat kid in peril voice. Face was like, oh no, this ain't gonna work. Oh Jesus, and it reminded me of there was a few weeks ago on Bill Burr's podcast where I guess he had kind of the same thing where he was making some brownies one night and just kind of used tinfoil. I didn't realize this was such a big thing. Again, not much of a baker. When parchment paper has become the thing to have. And I just remember when I was a kid, you just buttered the pan. You sprayed some Pam in there, and, every third one you wouldn't be able to get out, but whatever. But when he was making his brownies, he wasn't paying attention and just kind of took a bite out of one and just told his wife, oh, God, don't eat any of those. They're awful. I don't know what I did. I mixed everything right, but something was awful. And the next morning he got up and he saw that the tinfoil he used, there was kind of like still some of it on the bottom of, and he had ate some of the tinfoil. He's like, oh my God. So that was the terrible taste. But he said they were fine. You just kind of peel the tinfoil off and you're good to go.
Man,
but
I'm with you. I love the Ruby video, and I didn't know she was doing YouTube till you told me. So thank you a ton for telling me, because she's just. We talked about the parallel between Hooligans Unite and Kana-chan TV, in that it really will piss you off at the writers' room for that company they work for. Because it's like, how in the hell you cannot see what personalities these guys have? And that it's more important that you learn your lines and play a role. Oh my God, just turn the camera. She is so entertaining and so cool. And my God, I'm with you on the. I felt bad about buttermilk. I felt bad about aluminum foil, because the thing about aluminum foil is it's hot. It's gonna burn the crap out of whatever you put it on. But see, I'm with you. I don't do parchment paper either. I still do pan, and I burn the hell out of most of it. But it's kind of like you were saying. I love to cook. I very much enjoy going to the kitchen to cook and stuff. Baking is not cooking. They are totally different things, man. That's what we were saying. We were talking about it off camera. We'll talk about it here now. Ruby's like spirit, like the attitude of like, well, I can make this work. She'd probably be a hell of a cook, because you can come up with some really creative and interesting things if you're cooking. I've read this a couple of times, and I thought that sounds great. Apparently, this is a standard line for culinary professors and things like that. Is that cooking is art, baking is science, and it's like that's a good way to say it. Because I've done I baked a strawberry cake once, And it was not terrible. It was fine. Except that by doing every single thing exactly as it said to, I still overcooked the damn thing. It's like, damn it. It's just hard. I just suck at it.
It's, you can concentrate on one end, getting my mix just perfect. But if it gets burnt, it's it.
Yeah, it's
Anything
like, dude,
you can
this
do.
is awful dodge. we were discussing it, man. I'll say this one last thing about Ruby. I thought she had a great attitude about it. I just, the thing we talked about it a minute ago, man, her getting her layers out of the tinfoil and stacking them up is quite funny. She's got a real good spirit about that. But my main thing was, as funky, and it's a funky cake. She'll tell you it's a funky cake. It's a funky looking cake. Everything is okay. But man, when she cut into that sucker and you see her layers, it looked great. So I was like, well, hey, you killed that part. Good for you.
And that kind of goes more into the science of just how things turn out. Because going into the oven, when you get all your food coloring together, the stuff looks perfect. Yeah. But it's kind of like when paint dries, it's not going to look the same. And when stuff comes out of the oven, like, oh, is that brown or purple? Yeah. I can't tell.
Yeah, and it's like when you cut into them, you can actually see, like you're talking about, man. But the food coloring is a good point, because she mentions, like, man, I've always just done different cake mixes, and I could not believe when it dawned on me that it's like, oh my God, she's like, this is all like scratch. Like, Jesus, no wonder it's so difficult. Especially, she says all the time, I'm not a baker. I can never do what she did on that video. I could never do. So it's like, golly, man.
That's another thing. Like what you're talking about with using the tinfoil is, to me, the correlation that I made was, it was kind of like around the campfire doing hot dogs or s'mores. Around here, we all use a clothes hanger.
Yeah.
And when you, even though, you've a good foot or 2 feet away from the fire, that transfers heat like a son of a bitch.
It sure does. There is a method.
And I always forget that.
There's a method to the campfire clothes hanger. And you take it and straighten that sucker out. It's all good.
Give yourself a handle.
Get yourself a pot holder. Absolutely, man. Get you a pot holder and some rubber bands and put it around there, and you'll be just fine. But you're totally right. It's like, I remember they used to do that. Like, our science teachers would do that to us in, like, labs and stuff, where you'd be doing something with, like, beakers and stuff like that. And it's like, they don't remind you, oh, by the way, that conducts heat. And it's like,
those tongs are going to transfer heat like a son of a bitch.
Absolutely. There's a reason that so many things in science labs have rubber on them, and that's why. It's because if it's not heat, it's usually electricity, and one of them's going to hurt, the other one's really going to hurt. So you need that rubber.
One's going to sting, the other one's going to stay with you for days.
It's real. Oh, man, this is warming up. Well, is it hot or are you dead? Hot? Well, okay, just drop it then.
Yeah. I can't decide.
I'm not sure, teacher.
I'm stuck in the middle.
Educate me. It's your job.
Is this causation or... I forget.
I forget the alternative, but you could probably tell me. You have on the white coat. Tell me.
You ain't so smart without your teacher's edition.
You didn't know you was going to have somebody stupid as me ask you these questions, did you? You didn't come prepared for someone as dumb as me.
Now, how dumb do you look?
For real.
That was the feeling I got from her show. I came in the middle, and I went back and watched her first show as an interview with Sonya Deville. Yeah. And it's not that, I wouldn't sit down and watch an interview with Sonya, but she made her way. She's a really good interviewer, and kind of kept me there when that's the type of thing. If I saw it come up in like a podcast feed, and I'm like, I don't know if I need to listen to that one, but she made it kind of cool, and
that's awesome, man.
So I could, if that's a career path that she wants to go down, I could definitely see her being the next one to host a show on like an MTV or whatever, talking music with people talking flat Earth theories or whatever else. Any crazy folk that want to come sit down.
I'll tell you who I would love to hear Ruby Riott do a show with, and I think that's a good point because I hadn't thought of it till you mentioned it a minute ago, and it's like that's a really good point, man. So if she wants to keep doing those, I will happily check them out. But did you see? It's the one that WWE, God dang, I can't even speak, put out. It was their documentary, the CM Punk documentary, the Best in the World.
Yeah. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's the part that I'm going to talk about is easy to remember. It's the fact that Lars Fredrickson from Rancid is in it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And as far as I know, I could be wrong about this. And if Ruby Riott ever sees this video and I'm wrong, please let us know. Let me know. But as far as I know, she is Ruby Riott, as in Ruby Soho. That's as far as I know. I know she's a huge fan because she makes no secret of being a Rancid fan. So as far as I know, that's where the name even came from. But him being such a wrestling fan as it comes across in that video, because it's like, yeah, I'm CM Punk's friend, but we can talk about just wrestling too. It'd be awesome for her to get him on the show, and she can ask him music questions, and he can ask her wrestling questions, and it can just go on for 3 days, and I'll love every second of it. That would be awesome.
Heck yeah. That'd be the jam.
I agree, man. That'd be real cool.
Yeah. So that's you got a feeling if you're seeing this and you probably already know all about it and like, shut up. But anyway, that was my fun find for this week.
I'm with you. I thought it was very, very enjoyable. I loved it. So thank you for telling me about it because I did not know about it.
That's cool. And that's my other kind of weird bit of news that I heard come down the pipe this week is there was some of the podcasts I listen to and YouTube videos that I watch where people were talking about this. Not it's just I'm thinking to the point where I'm kind of like when it comes to pay-per-view, I'm kind of like I don't need to see that. You know, just the idea of there was some notion about the whole eye for an eye match.
Oh God!
And there was this stuff got out like they're going to do CGI and somebody they're going to come out, and it just feels like to me they're just trying everything they can to be like we're going to make you see that we're going to do something worse than the Sheamus and Jeff Hardy bar fight. we're gonna make something worse than that.
I swear, dude. I think that it seems to me that when the reviews for War Machine and Street Profits, I do it every time. I'm terrible. I always want to say
the party profits.
Dude, the private profits. Oh God, I do it all the time. And it sucks because I really do like both. Let me rephrase it. I remember liking the Street Profits. I haven't seen them since they went to the main roster, so I don't know if they're any good or not. But they were when I saw them. I liked them then. Anyway, I got way sidetracked. But they are trying to take that match that those four had, and oh my God, you thought that was bad. It's like this is out of control, man. And we knew it would be that way because that's the problem. But the cinematic matches. Wow, the Boneyard and Cena at Bray Wyatt. Wow, it's like if that's the end of it, or the end of it for a year, you've got something. But you knew, like we talked about it. I'm still very proud of us for this because I know.
Press the gas on that.
The second Lucha Underground became a thing, you and I both knew that's what they were going to get into. We knew that's what they were going to do because a television studio that have wrestling matches every now and again, that's Kevin Dunn's wet dream. Has been for, that and Alexa Bliss feeding him pickles or something. But it's like, this is so stupid because just like everything else, anything you do, you're going to overdo. And it's like, what a bunch of crap. But yeah, the whole eye for an eye thing, I'm like, I appreciate it from a hustler standpoint of trying to get people interested in watching your bullshit matches, but it's like you couldn't. Basically, if you told me, well, the match only ends once Seth Rollins writes you a personal check for $1,000 and puts it in the mail, I might be interested then. But even then, it'd be a little bit tricky to get me to give a crap.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, seriously.
Either way, Ray's only got one to spare.
Seriously, man.
And I thought that's what they were building for, a terrible practical effect because in the past several weeks he has his eye that's missing. That eye in the mask is covered. I thought they're going to get Tom Savini on the phone, be like, "How do we get an eye to pop out of that shit?" And this is not totally gross everybody out. He's like, "No, how you going to gross everybody out doing that? This is a terrible idea." Like, we're doing it anyway.
We're going to do it anyway, Tom
Savini. You're not listening. We weren't really asking if we should do it. We asked how we're going to do
it. Yes, Tom Savini. How do we get someone's eye to pop out of their head without making them, making everybody sick? And Tom Savini starts to kind of he's got a puke. Oh my God, Tom Savini, hard master Tom Savini, I've got to make him puke.
We've got a CGI program over here that we can kind of make it pop up like one of Randy Orton's vipers coming out of his mouth. In my little daughter and her baby.
One of the things that I watched that was talking about it, I'm pretty sure it was Wrestle Talk, man. I think it was Chopper Pete who was talking about that. Like, okay, so they've decided to go CG. Please tell me it's not going to look like the ramp effects. And I was like, that's an excellent point, man.
Uh-huh.
Because holy crap, are those awful. But no matter what they do, it's going to be awful. But
it's like
that's okay because thank God this is not an NXT show. So I don't have to watch it.
Yeah, I won't be checking it out regardless. Absolutely. But I'm to the point now where I'm just like, I'm not going to sit through and watch that stuff. There's too much other stuff out there to see.
I completely agree. There's way too much wrestling now that I enjoy to waste my time on WWE. And this is harkening back to 2001 because, man, I Benoit and Angle is what got me back because I was gone. The Attitude Era and the Monday Night War and all that pretty much burned me out. I love the cruiserweights, and then when all of them moved to WWE, I'm like, whatever. And then Angle and Benoit eventually brought me back because I'm lapsed all the time. I come and go, and that's that. Then I was out for a little while, and I'm trying to think of the things that brought me back. I honestly can't remember the last time. I know I got really excited for.
I know the first and foremost what you're talking about was the first time I'd watched in a long time when it was back when they were doing pay-per-views at the Hoot on Sunday nights, and I think I had been to the Royal Rumble the year before, and had probably not watched hardly any of it since then. To 2003.
Yeah, man.
It was Angle and Benoit. I was like, oh man, I hadn't watched that in a while, and that fanned the flames of that fire. But I had been kind of touch and go with it.
Exact same way, even down to the match that wasn't got me back totally in, man. Because I know we've talked about it for many years. The Rumble's always been our favorite anyway. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But yeah, honestly, man, I'm having a hard time now remembering. It's part of my thing with the New Day and the Young Bucks and why I like them as much as I do because it got people talking tags again, and I always like tag stuff. But yeah, I was really into WWE had for a little run there, man. I think it was right when AJ first got there. So yeah, let's check this out, see what's going on, man. I like Nakamura, but I mean that was NXT, so I guess it doesn't count. But anyway, I'm with you. And then very, very quickly after that, it's like, okay, I've seen everything. I'm good now. And man, I don't miss it at all. That will lead to a good conversation because it was the thing I'd mentioned earlier, but I said I wouldn't bore you with it twice. So here's the time for me boring you with it. It was an article about how, WWE had all these big plans for Adam Cole, and now they've scrapped them. And it looks like Adam's going to have to stay in NXT a little bit longer, like it was this terrible thing. And it wound up sounding like exactly what you and I discussed, where Adam Cole gets the pay raise, Adam Cole stays in NXT. I know it's exactly what I wanted. I'm pretty sure it's what both of us wanted because you had mentioned Undisputed Era, and I'm totally with you, man. Leave those guys together. And I don't know what. Yeah. Well, somebody in Undisputed Era doesn't want to go to the main roster, and I don't know who they're talking about, but the logic behind it is like it's the same thing you and I've talked about forever, and it's what I say it, but here it is again because it's true. That's what AEW screwed up with wanting to tour. Let's get out there. Go to the arenas, guys. Let's go. That's not it. The NXT schedule of like, yes, this is where we do TV, and this is where you live, and now you can go home. Apparently, one of the UE guys loves that. And it's like, I'm not going up to the main roster and doing that full schedule. You're crazy. I'm not doing that. So it's like, yes, leave them together. It sounded like great news to me. and I'm jumping off the cliff because this is what I was talking about earlier, where it's exactly what I wanted to hear. So I know I'm inclined to believe it, but boy, I would not be sad at all if that turned out to be true. Because Adam Cole being in NXT for a hot minute, totally okay with that.
Of who that's there, I think when you hear those stories come out, like one of the four doesn't want to go. I think they probably just looked at everybody's ages and they kind of got to Bobby Fish. They're like, "How old are you? You kind of look that age.
Yeah.
You're out of the group." So like, man, I want them all or nothing.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's interesting. Bobby's such an interesting guy because him and Keith Lee catches crap for how old he is, and Shayna Baszler catches crap for how old she is, and I'm like, but none of y'all have a problem with Randy Orton headlining pay-per-views? I just don't get it. It's like y'all need to decide if somebody hitting the magic 3-5 number is the end of the world or if it's not. Don't make sense because the last guy y'all talked a bunch of crap about being too old was Batista, and he left and got Hollywood jobs, and you'll never see him again. So
yeah, so maybe it's not as terrible as as y'all make it out to be.
Unless you're ready to put old Randy's boring ass out in the pasture, you might want to be careful what you say. And also, AJ's older than all of them, and he has better matches than all of them too. So there's that. I'll never understand that stuff, man. It's like, well, Vince McMahon is really big on 22, 23-year-old world champions. Bullshit. No, he's not. Nobody is. Nobody gets the strap thrown at him at 20. I don't know why everybody thinks everything has to happen. I know because they gave it to Randy when he was young. Well, that's Randy. Randy's had special treatment his whole life.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. It's stupid, man. But yeah, the idea of Keith Lee and Adam Cole being a substantial thing, a stretched out thing, because I'm as sorry as I can be, but just wanting to retire Ciampa and Gargano was the greatest feud in NXT history. It don't work for me. And I can tell you one of the main reasons why, and we'll go into reviews if you want to. We can do it from here. That match that Lee and Cole just had, find me a Gargano and Ciampa match that's half as good as that one, because I ain't seen it. At least not one where they weren't a tag team, because I've seen their tag matches that were that good, but that solo crap especially. That's another one of those. The cinematic stuff does not bother me, but the elaborate, lavish TV stuff does. And I thought the Gargano Ciampa match was painfully overdone. It got boring as hell by the time it was finally over. And the thing is, their live blood street fight, oh my God, pull back the ring mat and kill each other. Excuse me, those were fun, man. Those were good matches, but it's like, you don't need dialogue, guys. You don't need anybody. I've gotten sidetracked. Sorry about that. But Keith and Adam can keep on going for all I care, bud, because I really enjoyed that.
It lets me wanting more. So
I'm totally good with it, man. Just as long. I'm just with you. I'm happy because it's all like Adam Cole's not getting called up. I love this news.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh darn! What am I gonna do? Man, but that was kind of the cool thing about this week. Couldn't go wrong on Wednesday. Both I dug both of them.
I did too, man.
It was just a good way to go either way.
I'm totally with you, man. The first week I enjoyed both shows. I like Fyter Fest better just because I love the tag title match. But like we were saying, I was really happy that I didn't have to choose the tag title match versus Cole and Lee. And for some reason, man, I had no idea. I just didn't know that Private Party and LAX was for the number one contendership, and then you would get that match the next week too. So you have two tag title matches in 2 weeks. I'm like, this is awesome, man. But they decided to kick the show off, so I still got to watch that one, and then go over to Cole. I shouldn't say it that way because it's not like I watch them live anyway. But I think it's cool. If I was watching it live, I could watch both the ones I really wanted to see, and it's like, man, this is good stuff. I like this, man. I watched.
Hopefully this will set up a trend. Even after pandemic chef stuff is over, this hopefully if this is one of the things that we can take out of all this going down is 2-night WrestleManias, 2-night SummerSlams, man, that's the way to go.
I agree completely, man. I'm totally in favor of splitting these things. Let's just do it. I don't think that, we've said it forever, man, that WWE does too many damn pay-per-views, and they do.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to just go back to the big four, but go full-on weekend the whole time, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be totally awesome. And where you could NXT Friday night, and then Saturday and Sunday you've got Royal Rumble, SummerSlam. I completely agree with you. I think that would be awesome. Something that I think, and I could just be dreaming about this, but something I think is probably sooner rather than later going to come to a head is, we have said this for the longest time. I don't know why they still do Survivor Series. Doesn't mean anything. The title doesn't mean anything. But, well, no, it's the crossover now where you've got all three brands. Whoop-de. I don't care about that. Give me an NXT pay-per-view on Friday. I would rather have that.
Yeah.
What is the ultimate November pay-per-view in wrestling history? I'll help you out. It's not the Survivor Series. It's Starrcade.
Mm-hmm.
And now that Cody wants Starrcade, well, they only used Great American Bash because Dusty came up with it, and they used it to program against Fyter Fest. They only did that to make Cody mad. Do you really want to make Cody mad?
Mm-hmm.
Then instead of sitting on Starrcade, use Starrcade. 2 nights, November, Saturday, Sunday. Do it. Hey, man. Yeah. Either do it or get off it. But that would.
One of the two.
Yeah, seriously. But I think that might be something we could see, and that'd be cool. I would dig that, actually, because I'm good either way. I love Starrcade. If Cody gets it back, that'd be wonderful, but I don't think he ever will. So might as well use it.
Yeah, that's they've been doing house shows with it, but
oh yes,
maybe it'll actually become more of a thing.
Well, that whole thing about, they only booked the Great American Bash to go against AEW to make Cody mad. I'm like, if you think that's half as insulting as making Starrcade a glorified house show, I don't know where you've been, man.
Yeah.
But Vince does stuff like that. He always does stuff like that. People just don't remember. They just don't remember. And it's like, well, it happened.
Yep. Went down very recently for me. Yeah.
It's true, man. I'm sitting here I'm sorry to be, I don't mean to sound so jerky about it, but I honestly don't remember what else was on Great American Bash. And it's nobody's fault. It's just I was so keyed in for that one match. That's just what I did.
There was the Candice LeRae street fight with Mia Yim. That was, I thought it was fine. And after that, I'm blanking out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man. I think
I remember the bookends.
Yeah, I can dig it, man. Every time I see Mia Yim, I like her. I think she's really cool. Any of the women, especially that wear, you have to hear this all the time, but anybody that wears anything slightly different in ring gear, I'm immediately into that, because it's just, there's too many people that wear exactly the same thing. It's boring. But the street fight stuff, I hate stuff like that. I don't care if it's boys. I don't care if it's girls. I don't care. I hate stuff like that because it's so overdone and there's too much production in it and setting crap up and la-di-da. If y'all want to brawl and start slinging people into stuff that you can get your hands on, okay, you might be able to sell me on that. But that ECW style crap, I do not like, man. I can't remember the last time I saw anybody have a match like that was any good. TLC just retired it, man. That's it. Those are the ultimate gimmicky, spotty, set it up, make this work thing. But man, those 6 guys could do it. It was very entertaining. And maybe the reason it worked well for them is because no one had done it before. But now that we've seen everybody do it, it's like, God dang it, this is boring as hell.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm completely blank, man. I'm sorry to say. And honestly, I don't remember Fyter Fest either, except, again, the tag match was really good, and the 8-man tag match was... I thought the 8-man tag match, you get those 8 cats together and say, yeah, go kick it. That's what you get. It was great, man. Oh, my God. And I know that this is nothing new for anyone that's ever seen these 2 guys, especially the singles match they had earlier the year. But as far as, well, it's just spot fest and spot monkeys and nothing means anything and la-di-da. Okay, but you still have your moveset champ. Everybody's got somebody that can do all the moves and it's crazy and you're like, holy crap, how'd they do that? and it's Ray Phoenix, and it's Nick Jackson, and that freaking Canadian Destroyer over the rope, off the apron, down onto everybody. I couldn't believe Nick Jackson didn't die on that. That was unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. I couldn't believe it.
That match was awesome. I dug it and liked it a lot. Man, my one thing that stuck with me with Fyter Fest is something I've been meaning to bring up since the guy got there, but it's just never come up with us talking. But what is going on with Jake Roberts' hair? It's it's like I can't tell if it's like shaved or just colored weird, and then the stuff that it's not that they dress him, the stuff that he chooses to wear, just like, what are you going for? It's just like, look like somebody's granddad going out to watch his grandson in a match. I'm just going to sit here in my blue button up. Like, change that gear up.
This is a horrible admission that I will trot out here for YouTube right now. All the crap that I talk about Randy Orton. Randy Orton to me is the modern Jake Roberts in the sense that you talk about someone that is an absolute legend in pro wrestling that I DO_NOT understand. I've never gotten it. I don't get it. I'll never get it. I don't understand. We cut those amazing promos where he got all low in his voice and would talk instead of yelling. Yeah, he did. And they were real cool, but Nick Bockwinkel did that too. People do that. It's just I've seen Jake have decent matches, but it's just not that big of it. I get, you know what, that's really not fair. I guess my Randy Orton from back in the day is Randy Savage because he's the one that I really don't understand. It's like, why do y'all think this is so great? Mainly because I guess it's just now we kill guys for, oh man, it's just so scripted and so organized, and they're working out all their spots, and they practice and la-di-da. Why do you have a problem with anybody practicing if you're going to kiss Randy's ass? Because that's the guy that started that school, and everybody knows it. Well, Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat ain't shit compared to what Steamboat then came down here and did with Flair. Later that year, same year. Was WrestleMania 3 was 88. Sorry, it's the next year.
Close enough.
Dude. It's not even, it's crap. I mean, the Savage Steamboat match is so over. It's what everybody bitches about with modern indie wrestling. Yes, because all of them grew up watching that match. So when you have 450 small package 2 counts, that's where that junk came from, man. It's, oh God, it's so overrated. And that's supposed to be the high water mark for Randy. And it's like, I thought Savage and Flair at WrestleMania 8 or 9 or whichever one, I think it was 8.
That match is the Pulp Fiction before Pulp Fiction. I love that movie. I love that match. I don't like all the stuff it inspired.
Oh man, I can dig that. That's seriously, because a lot of the it's like we talked about, and it might even be the same thing with guys like Randy and Steamboat. It's by thinking if you write the same words in a slightly different order, it's the same thing. It's not. Tarantino's quality. It's not just putting people in suits with long, funky 70s hair and pistols talking about fast food.
Yeah.
That's not it. You can't, anybody can do that. That's not what made that what it was. Same thing with Savage and Steamboat. It's like, Jesus Christ. And now, the modern guys, a lot of the modern indie guys that people just hate so much, it's Shawn Michaels. That's it. That is all they're trying to be. It's all they're trying to do, even down to the, I'm going to go out and have the best match on the card. Yeah, okay. All for one and all for me. That's one of the things I loved so much about, I don't remember which one it was. I've listened to the Revival on a couple of shows. It might have been Jericho, but it seems like it was, maybe it was the Cornette interview, which, by the way, all that, man, we got heat backstage for doing the Jim Cornette show. It's bullshit. I don't believe you for a second. I love you guys, but I don't believe you. You're great. Yeah. But all that time in WWE didn't make you great actors. It's I feel like Ron Burgundy. I don't believe you. But
okay.
Yeah, but they were talking about how their basic attitude for approaching a match is like, okay, who we working? What do they do? How do we make them look good? And I'm like, oh, you mean like heels? Like heels are supposed to be the idea that people go out well, I'm going to do this move and that move and that move and that move, and I'll look awesome, as opposed to I'm going to go out and take this bump and that bump and that bump and that bump, and then I'm still going over at the end of the match, so we all look good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. And that wasn't Shawn Michaels ever. Shawn wanted to go out and be the man, and he wanted to win all the fucking time. That's a problem that you run into with a lot of modern guys, man. And no one ever wants to say that because God forbid we criticize Shawn Michaels, but he's that guy. Yeah. So having the Revival come out and point blank say the number one thing that you have to do is assess the objective of your match. Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to do tonight? Okay, if I'm Ricky Morton, there was a great story about Ricky Morton where he was working a match with some dude, and Ricky was booked to go over. And the guy's all like, well, you know, Ricky, I do this. And this is some little nobody nothing. Not Mr. Morton, Ricky. Oh, well, Ricky, I do this move. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Or, Ricky, I like doing this move. It looks awesome. Yeah, we can do that one too. Well, what about this? Me and my partner have, yeah, sure, no problem. It's all good. And the point he made to the guy after the match was over is like, you've just shown everybody on television every damn move you can do, and I kicked out of all of them and beat you anyway. Don't do that. Be smarter, man. Keep something in the tank. And it's brilliant. That's a great way to look at it, man. And if you know you're going over, why do anything? Mm-hmm. It's one of the things Randy Orton gets right. He knows he's going to win all the damn time, so why should, well, I think I want to work till I'm 50. Well, okay, if you work till you're 50, you're going to have he will have the wear and tear of a 7th-year professional wrestler. He doesn't do anything. But to his credit, if he's going over all the time, he knows he doesn't have to do anything. So that's the same thing with Hogan. Hogan always took crap for his sorry work rate in WWE, and it's like, brother, he knew he was going over all the time. All he had to do was go out and look for about 6-7 minutes like he was going to lose, hulk up, punch a guy, big boot, leg drop, and then pose for 25 minutes. And it worked. He made a lot of money doing that. So, all right, go on, Hulk.
It's something right about that, brother.
Seriously.
What with that dude?
I don't know about that, brother. I mean, we were talking about Savage and Steamboat earlier, and all the old WrestleMania shows kind of suck. For me, it's the most massive gulf between, if you really want to see what the story between the World Wrestling Federation and the National Wrestling Alliance is, pick any year, watch WrestleMania, then watch Starrcade. Tell me which one you still enjoy. There's your difference. WrestleMania 3 is awful. Good catch, man. WrestleMania 3 is awful. So, but there's one thing on it that I love. I just think it's one of the coolest. It's not even a passing of the torch, but as far as the WWE is concerned, maybe it is. Harley Race headbutted his way to 8 NWA titles and global domination for years, man. He would do the headbutt. He would do the diving headbutt, the falling. He would just headbutt the crap out of people. And he's booked at WrestleMania 3 to work against the Junkyard Dog. And pretty early in that match, man, he gets a spot where he gets Dog kind of groggy, and he reaches over and grabs him by the ear and gives JYD a headbutt and sells it. Harley Race headbutts the Junkyard Dog, and he puts JYD's head over. It's so silly, but that's my favorite thing on that entire show, is that's Harley, by God, Race. And he's like, no, you know what would work really good here? Because this guy, he gets down on all fours and headbutts people. I'm a headbutt guy, but this guy's the headbutt guy. So let me show the people that is awesome. That's one of my favorite spots in any wrestling match ever, man. It's a little thing, but I'm like, God, that's cool.
Yeah, man.
I love that. It's the first thing I was
thinking.
Yeah, seriously. It's the first thing I think of when I think of that show, man, is like, Harley put the dog's head over. That's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, that's saying something.
Harley Race didn't have to put nothing over. It's just he's smart enough to do it. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. That was my one thing. I kind of just it's been irking me since Jake got there. I've just been like, what's going on with that fro, man?
He looks like it. There's weird patches missing. He looks like Maynard James Keenan from Tool in 40 years. It's like, I don't.
It looked like it had the undercut was so popular. He was doing that, and then it started to grow out, and it was gray, and he just kind of said, "If it, I'm Jake, I don't care.
It's fine."
And then he'll come out and and it's supposed to be all dark and being the Murder Hawks manager, so I'm gonna have my teal blue Walmart button up on. What do you got?
What are you doing, man? Who's dressing you, man?
I don't know. How fitting. The very money you grovel for will be your own. that's what I always go back to.
Go on, Jake. I can't ever get
the thing I love at the end of that is that Gene says, "Wow, fellow, couldn't have said it any better," but in the tone of Jesus Christ, what was that?
Gene Okerlund was like, Vince McMahon, what are you thinking? You hired this man.
All right.
You hired this man. God only knows why. Back to you, Gorilla.
That's my Jake promo. I always think of like, how fitting.
Sounds like he's trying on pants. He's like he's checking himself out the mirror. How fitting.
Yes.
I like the idea of fashionista Jake Roberts. Nah, man. Murder Hawk always messes me up. It's so stupid, but the first time I heard that, it made me think of Ricky Bobby. So I always want to call him Jack Hawk 9000.
Yeah.
So I can't stop thinking about that. Jack Hawk 9000 Lance Archer.
Big Red.
I said, no, there's only one Big Red. It's America's favorite cinnamon gum.
Heck yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't remember what else was on there I was going to even talk about. I'm sorry to say. But I know I'm very boring when it comes to my wrestling views, because if it's tag matches, I'm all about it. And if it's not, it's like, it was okay. Wait a minute. What happened? What was going on there? But anyway, one of the things, somebody left a comment. I think it was on the last episode of AEW Dark, because I watched it too. And it said, I'm sorry to not give user credits, but it's okay. It's a YouTube comment. It's AEW's actual video, so it's easy to find it if you want to. But it was like, between this episode of Dark and Fyter Fest Night 2, man, have I missed the Lucha Brothers. And I'm like, absolutely. Yeah. It is so nice having those dudes back. And that's a weird team, only in the sense that somehow they're even better as a tag team. When they're both so good individually. But, man, you put them together, and it's like, I mean, I'm a tag guy anyway. Ray Phoenix is one of the better pro wrestlers on earth. That guy is awesome. And somehow, man, you put him and his brother together, and it gets ratcheted up. It's like Jay and Mark Briscoe. They're like that. Because Jay Briscoe is probably my favorite wrestler on earth. And as much as I love him by himself, man, you put them together, dude, not even close. Those are my guys, man. I just think that's cool, man. God, that's a match I would absolutely love to see. Briscoes versus Luchas.
That'd be crazy.
Briscoes versus anybody in AEW, I'm cool with. I would love to see that. I mean, they've already wrestled most of us. Corny was whining about that on some show a couple of weeks ago about, can you see these Jackson brothers step into Jay and Mark Briscoe? Or the world's greatest tag team? Or Red Dragon? And it's like, all of those things have already happened. And in the case of the Briscoes, lots of times. They work together all the time. All you got to get any of the compilations from Ring of Honor that the Briscoe brothers are on. Young Bucks are all over that shit, for better or worse.
Then go down, brother.
See, they've worked all those, man. They worked all those dudes, man. They worked Kings of Wrestling. They worked Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team. They worked Steen and Generico. I mean, all the dude. Yeah. They're awesome. They've been awesome for a long time. On the subject of DVD compilations, because we're the only two people left on Earth that love those. The Briscoes. No, dude, the Briscoes have one called the Baddest Tag Team on the Planet, and that's the one I missed, and one has come up on eBay, and it's too expensive, and I'm kind of sad about it, because the two that have come and gone that I missed that I'm so bummed about are Baddest Tag Team on the Planet. It literally is the only Briscoe comp I don't have. I got the rest of them, because I'm obsessed, but I love those guys. And then Kings of Wrestling, and that one, Kings of Wrestling was like that Kenny Omega comp they did, boy. The Kenny Omega Ring of Honor compilation was like Girl Season 6. Apparently, like, okay, we're making 70 of these. Too bad if you don't get it. It's like, God dang, that's sold out already. Screw y'all, man.
Yeah. Man, you were going to say something about the DVD, talking about DVD stuff, the Blu-ray sale with the Criterion stuff.
Oh, yes. Every single year, I've probably mentioned this before on here, but if not, here we go. My birthday's in December. Christmas is obviously in December. And usually every year for Christmas, I will ask for a Barnes & Noble gift card, at which point I sit on it for 7 months because then I get to plot and scheme and pick what I'm going to buy when the sale comes. And so it's been a very, very fun last month or so because I'll get on the computer and make a list and then revise the list and look over the list and try to make choices. And it always comes down to there's something that gets purchased in the heat of the last moment that came out of nowhere. This year's no exception. I love old French movies. I like movies from everywhere, but old French movies were my focus this time. And I was like, yes, this will be good. And so what do I end up getting? I bought a bunch of stuff, man, because they're cheap. And when they put these on sale, that's good. I went outside of Barnes & Noble because I'm an idiot. And basically, some stuff I just won't. Some things I'm okay buying. Used copies don't bother me, man. Criterion, there's a couple of sellers on eBay, and there's one particular place on Amazon, and I'm a complete jerk, and I'm keeping the name to myself because I'm a prick and I don't want to share because
the price is right. I'll risk it.
Dude, absolutely. There's this one place that when I order them from there, man, they're right at $20. And I mean, that's after shipping, tax, everything. They start at like $14.50. And then by the time you get done, it's pretty much Criterion sale price. And I've ordered 2 things from them, and they are both in great shape. They really seem like, I bought this, I cut the plastic off of it, I put it in I downloaded it to the cloud, you can have it now. That's really what they seem like. So I'm like, yes, I will take these. So I've got one from them on the way. It's Godard's Vis-a-Vis, which I love. I used to have it. I got rid of it because, like we talked about, man, I got rid of all my DVDs. I do Blu-rays now because I'm an idiot. So there's that. The other one is a copy of Jules and Jim. And again, this is like bedrock French New Wave stuff. Gotta have it, man. So those are the 2 that are still outstanding. The 5 that I bought the other day, though, man, I bought Weekend, which is Godard's last movie. Can't wait. I haven't watched it yet. Haven't seen it yet. Can't wait. I'm excited. So for France, I did that one, and I did. I shouldn't have started there. Sorry. There's this movie. Actually, I'll pull it off and show it to y'all. Oh, come here. There we go. This is called The Children of Paradise. I'm trying to get the gleam off of it. Children of Paradise is old school, and when I read the story about. Not necessarily what it's about, but the story of it getting made. It's shocking, man. It's a story, I think it's set like in the 1830s or something like that, and it's a theater story, and I love theater movies, so I'm like, yeah, that's cool, man. But that movie was made in 1944, which means that movie was made during the occupation. Half the cast and crew of that movie are Jewish. So you got Jews in Paris in 44 making that movie. I got to see it. I have to see it because it's like I can't believe that got done because clearly, obviously, when you have Jews working in Paris in 1944 during the occupation, you hiding people. It's fascinating. The fact that thing even exists, I'm like, I got to watch this. So I'm very excited to find out what that one's all about. So there's those 2. I replaced my copy of Breathless, which is Godard's first movie. It's classic. It's fantastic. I love it. I used to have the DVD, needed the Blu-ray, bought it, watched it last night, still love it. Breathless is, to movies, Breathless is what Velvet Underground and Nico is to rock and roll, only in the sense that there's every movie that came out before that, and then since Breathless, whether the people making the movie knew it or not, it's not the same. You know, whether you either made a movie where you knew you were trying to copy Breathless, or you made a movie and you didn't realize you were copying Breathless. But it's shocking. The innovation in that movie is out of this world. I love it. I think it's great. 2 more. Mishima. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. They're all coming off the shelf. I bought Mishima, Life in 4 Chapters. Because I don't know anything about this movie except that it's Paul Schrader who wrote Taxi Driver and directed.
It's a good time.
I can never remember the name of the movie. I always want to call it White Castle, and it's not White Castle, but it's Susan Sarandon and Willem Dafoe, and Paul Schrader's a big deal. He's awesome. And
White Sands or something like that.
I can't. I cannot ever remember the name of that movie. It's messed up. I can't remember. I want to call it White Castle, but that's Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
But anyway, the silly thing about that is that this is really stupid, but I like physical media. You know this, and this will not surprise you a bit. The freaking box is amazing. Like, the artwork on it is so cool looking. Like, back up to where I was holding it up here a second ago. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. But I'm excited about that one. And then the other one was the 11th hour one that entered the race very, very late. Sid and Nancy, man. I completely forgot that they had brought that back out and put it on Blu-ray. And Sid and Nancy is the perfect example of what we were talking about, where I don't buy DVD only Criterions, and that's why. Because brother, if you had told me at any point in the last 10 years, don't worry about Sid and Nancy, they'll get the Blu-ray out, I'd have thought you was lying. I never would have believed you. I would have thought it impossible. The spine number on Sid and Nancy is 20. That's how long ago they did that movie, man. They're in the thousands now, so it's like, that's shocking that they got that done, but I'm glad they got it done. Love the Criterion sale. I am a happy duckling. And probably, I was trying to make a list of what order to watch them in, but I've told you many times that whenever I get on a movie, I'll usually watch it 2 or 3 times before I move on. So I think it's going to be Breathless probably again tonight, then I'll figure out where I'm going from there. But I love it. Criterion sale is the best thing in the world. I love it, man.
It's good stuff.
Oh, God. It's the best.
Get down with it.
Engage.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yes.
Hell yes. Hell yes is the greatest thing ever. Oh, man, I know what else happened yesterday. And I feel bad. I told the man I had to, I set up this way so I wouldn't forget to talk about the Criterions, but then I've got my United hat over there because my hair is so lovely today. I didn't want to put a hat on, but I still want to show my guys love, man. Frustrating game, man. It's always frustrating to lose 1-0, particularly to the Red Bulls, because, boy, man, you talk about the team. Them in D.C., they are our booger bears, man. And it's at least it makes sense because, especially with New York, they're good. That's a good team. But, man, we kept generating opportunities, man. We put the ball over the bar half a dozen times last night. Frustrating. Man, right at the death of that, 11th hour stuff in that game. We get a corner from the left of the goalkeeper. Swing that sucker in. People complained endlessly about the King Peach uniforms. Well, it's a white shirt with peach-colored letters. You can't read whose name. You can't read the numbers. Well, let me tell you, the new gold ones are the white ones with gold. Far worse. So I still can't tell who anybody is. But, man, we played this ball in, man. Our guy got this bullet, beautiful header, right on goal, in the death. Oh, man, New York's goalkeeper just stuck his hand up, popped that sucker over the bar. It just made my stomach drop, man, because there's nothing you can do except tip your cap. It's like, crap. Yeah. So it's a bummer to not have gotten that win or at least a point, but whatever, I don't know what I was expecting, but I kept hearing that right on, man, you got a bud. What's going on, man? Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm going to be a celebrity if you do it. Okay. This is our fantastic. This is our fantastic co-host. That's awesome, man. When they said MLS is back tournament, I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Hey, look, if it comes back, that's fine. It'll be okay. No, it's going to be a World Cup style tournament. Don't ask me what I thought that meant, but it turns out they knew exactly what they were talking about. Because, dude, there's games every day. Because it really is just groups of 4, and then you just cycle through, and everybody plays everybody. And at the end, I'm assuming the top 2 will go through the playoff, just like the World Cup. But I don't know what I was expecting. But, man, somebody's playing every day. I'm like, that's what they meant by they really meant World Cup style tournament. This is awesome. So it's quite cool. Having MLS back is neat anyway. I know everybody's huge thing is, well, I think baseball is really dropping the ball here. And, the NBA players are really upset with the conditions in the bubble. So I know that what we're all doing is sitting around waiting to see these things not work. I'm not quite sure why we're so interested in seeing sports leagues fail where the federal government has never even tried yet. All we've done is fail endlessly, and we keep doing it more and more every day, but that's okay. But, oh, man, those silly baseball players, they got it wrong. Okay, I don't quite understand the fascination. I guess when your precious fucking NFL has to cancel their goddamn season, maybe you'll take it seriously. But God, dude,
We're
you drive
trying to
around.
make that failing up stuff work for us. We can't
Yeah,
make it do it.
that's right. Because we won't even talk about the NFL. They don't talk about anything to do with the NFL, even to the point that they'll blade their precious college football. They'll talk about that. Well, if they go to conference play only, how do you have a college football playoff? Who cares? Nobody cares. No one cares. Oh my God. And they're only pissed about that. I don't give a damn what any of them say. You're only mad about that because, well, the Big Ten said they were going to go to an all-conference schedule. What does that mean? You won't schedule Big Ten teams anyway. The only thing you're worried about is that if your precious Mickey Mouse gets to have his horseshit college football tournament, no Notre Dame, no Ohio State. Because y'all seen what happens to the ratings if those two teams aren't around. There's a reason that one of those two teams is in all the time, and it's because nobody in this country outside of a 3-state radius gives a good goddamn about Nick Saban or Alabama football. They do not care. You've tried to make them Darth Vader, make them Ric Flair, make them the bad guy that everybody hates, but they're kind of cool too. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Notre Dame is still the key villain in the history of college football. And we don't want to kowtow to Notre Dame. Great. Enjoy your shitty ratings then. Ohio State's the exact same way. They're the two most hateable and hated teams in the country, and that's why you're mad at the Big Ten, because they once again showed you need them, not the other way around. It's very, very hard for a Disney-owned company to accept that, but it's the truth. You need them, not the other way around. So enjoy the Steve Spurrier Film Festival in the hotbed South Carolina and move along. But that's exactly what happened. But we'll talk about that. We'll diss college football and breakouts there. Nobody criticizes the NFL for anything. This is the most pathetic thing in the world. But again, in the great history and story of America, Paul Tagliabue really does deserve a chapter, because even before corporations started buying up political power in D.C., that guy knew what the score was. He knew. He was right. He's right. Political. Cenk Uygur said the other day that like political bribery is the best investment you could make, and I'm like, that's very well said. He's exactly right. Yeah. If you need any further proof, look at the NFL. They talk about that son of a bitch like it's just this golden, glowing, wonderful. Oh man, they've never made a mistake. They don't do anything wrong. They never put a hair wrong, and it's like, that's crap. It's not nearly as popular as it was 5 years ago, but we don't talk about that. As it's Walmart and it's McDonald's. Y'all are ridiculous. Anyway, I've gotten way sidetracked.
Too big to fail.
Seriously, that's exactly the point. Because basically what too big to fail means is this, whether you like it or not. It means taxpayer-funded subsidies. That's why no one competes anymore. That's why the NFL doesn't compete. They don't have to. The NFL is the biggest league in the world. Bull to the shit. The NFL is not. The NFL ain't shit compared to any of the 4 major soccer leagues on earth, and probably the 5th one too, because Paris Saint-Germain, that team by themselves, that team is worth more than the NFL collectively. Sounds harsh. It's true. That's one team in one country that's 5th out of 5. Yeah, it's not the same. Ooh, that reminds me of something I want to talk about, and I think it's fascinating. Remember how much money Mickey Mouse made on the Avengers?
It's $500 million or a couple billion.
So we like team stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the deal. And this is so fascinating and so hilarious that I almost crap myself thinking about it. But I didn't. Don't worry about it. I'll let y'all know. I'll keep y'all updated on that. Mm-hmm. Lots of rumors going around now that Leo Messi is not going to re-sign with Barcelona. The rumor is that Leo Messi is going to go to Juventus to play with Cristiano Ronaldo. Then we're going to bring in Pep Guardiola to be the coach for Juventus. And Juventus is a huge deal, man. That's the most successful team in Italian soccer history, man. They're the old lady. Big deal. Huge deal. It's fantastic. But Italy, as a league, is 4th at best. Not good. But that's the one ESPN had to settle for because they couldn't afford England. Because England's the NFL on steroids. English soccer, what that television contract is worth. Dude, if you're impressed with the NFL, that TV contract will make your testicles melt. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. ESPN can't afford that. So they weren't in on that. And then Fox beat them to Germany, too. So, because your problem there is Germany is where so many of the good young American players wind up going. So viewership's pretty good here. So ultimately, ESPN has to take up the dregs, and they buy in on Serie A because you can't get Spain either. That's everybody wants Barcelona and Real Madrid, but you can't afford them because they got the TV deal with Setanta and BN. So okay, you're picking fourth, and you pick Italy, and then magically Ronaldo winds up there, and that's good. But now you want Ronaldo and Messi on the same team, and I'm like, Mickey Mouse has basically told ESPN this college football shit doesn't work for us, so they're getting in the soccer business. I'm like, all right, go on then, do it, have fun with it, man. And it's great because while MLS is like an elephant's graveyard. They get all these like old European players. You mean like Juventus? Because you know that Messi and Ronaldo are approaching 40. Have you seen Cristiano Ronaldo? What he looks like from the neck down in particular? HGH is a hell of a drug, man. So again, back to WWE. Stop talking about how old everybody is because it's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
But I think that's fascinating. All this pushback and well, soccer, it's not a big deal in America. Tell that to Mickey, because Mickey just is about to invest in the two most famous players ever as far as this part of the world is concerned, and they're going to be on one team and one television network. Good choice, Mick. It's interesting. I'm like, this is okay. I think I see what you're up to, man.
I got it down.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up, man.
That is indeed what's up, and it's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
No good to listen to all the Criterion stuff. I'm very excited, so that's very cool of you. Thank you, man.
Get this stuff going for the battery cuts off again.
Oh man, it's flashing! It's flashing!
Oh Jesus!
It's all over for us.
It's the car alarm coming back. Oh Jesus!
Exactly, man. The car alarm and the low battery.
That's what's up, y'all.
Have an awesome one, y'all. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Oh yeah.